Hello everybody, it's Michael from GetFitOver40.com, and I'm bringing you, I guess this one's kind of a back to the basics video. Maybe it goes a little bit beyond the basics, but I think a lot of people will be in this category. They'll want to be losing weight, so usually fat, while trying to either maintain or gain muscle, and that's really something that I think even beginners want to do. And it's rather controversial, at least in the weight training community or the bodybuilding community. A lot of people have the opinion that you cannot cut weight, so lose weight, lose fat, and either gain or maintain muscle. A lot of people feel you're going to lose muscle when you're losing body fat. And I'm just going to basically give you my opinion, personal experience, things like that, what I think is going on here, and why I think some people will lose muscle and some people will gain muscle during a body weight reduction. And so here's my opinion. Like, it all comes down to this, really. What's going on? What is your body thinking is happening? And typically I would find that a newbie or a person who, say, doesn't do a lot of weightlifting or maybe none, and they're getting into a program, they want to lose a lot of body fat and they want to gain muscle, right? Everybody wants to gain some muscle. It's not just about, cardio all the time. So let's say they've got a trainer. The trainer says, okay, we're going to put you on a calorie restrictive diet. We're going to get you lifting weights and maybe a little cardio, things like that. So basically you're eating less calories than your body needs, and we're putting you on a weight training program. Is that person going to lose muscle and fat at the same time? No. They're more than likely going to gain muscle and lose fat. And here's the reason why. Look at where they started from. They started from a situation where their body really wasn't exposed to weight training, pretty much on the level, had some body fat, more than they wanted. And what's going on here? So the body is sort of level, and all of a sudden the body's being told that it needs to put muscle on in order to lift these weights. It's also being told that it needs to lose some of this fat because there's only so much food around. So it's a smart thing. It knows. It's like, okay, we're getting exposed to all this weight training, and we got to build muscle. And okay, so the before and afters, we weren't doing that. Now we're being exposed to a lot of heavy muscle training and whatnot, and calorie reduction. So it does the logical thing. It's going to build muscle, use some of the fat and the energy to create muscle, as long as you're eating the right foods, and it's going to burn the fat because there's just not enough food to go around. That's what's going to happen, right? And a lot of times, newbie people that are new to bodybuilding and whatnot, they're going to experience really good muscle gains even on a restrictive diet because the body hasn't been exposed to it. It's going to adapt to that really quickly before it hits a plateau. And they could even gain as much as 5 to 10 pounds of muscle in several months of even dieting. So that there's a situation where it's totally possible. Now let's look at a bodybuilder who has bulked up over the winter or whatever, and they've put on 20, 30 pounds of fat. They've also gained some muscle, 5 to 10 pounds of muscle over winter, and now they want to cut down, right? So what do? The most common thing that these guys do is they go, okay, gotta cut. So they restrict their diet. So they went from a surplus, body's like, hey, let's put weight on, let's put muscle on. They go from a surplus, and all of a sudden they go do this deficit calories, and then they throw in cardio. So then all of a sudden they're throwing cardio into the picture, right? So the body's doing all this active stuff. It's getting less food. The body's just being told we got to run around and do stuff. And then all of a sudden, instead of lifting heavy weights, these guys, as they go from their 3 to 6 rep maxes, right, putting on the heavy weight, really going for PRs, they say, I'm cutting right now, so I'm going to do high reps, 15, 20 reps, just really get these muscles just going, really rip it up in the gym. So the body's being told, hey, we don't need to lift heavy weights anymore. We just need to kind of like throw some weight around, right? So calorie reduction, all this intensive cardio, active stuff, right? And even what they also do is they throw carbs. They get rid of their carbs too. They stop eating carbs. And carbs they supply the insulin, and the insulin is very important in building muscle. And so all of a sudden they're not getting this insulin rush because they feel that carbs are going to inhibit their weight loss. So no insulin. They're going to eat protein though, because they got to eat protein to keep that muscle going, right? They forget about the insulin, they forget about the carbs, they forget about the fact that their body is like, what are you doing to me? You're not giving me enough food, you're telling me to do all this crazy exercise that I've never been exposed to. You never used to have to do all this cardio. I got to trim up, I got to get lean, and I got to take some muscle off. We don't need this muscle, you're doing high reps, we don't need it anymore. So you're going to lose muscle. It's just what's going to happen because people, my opinion is they're doing it the wrong way. Now I'm not a huge guy, but I put on some muscle recently, put on some fat, and I've been trying to get it off. And I've basically been doing a cut for a month now, and I don't feel I've lost any muscle at all. If anything, I might have even gained a little bit of strength. Now, a little bit of energy reduction. I don't quite have as much energy in the gym as I used to when I was eating a lot, because there's just not as much energy to go around. But I'm still doing my training. I'm still putting heavy weights on. I have not changed the way I work out. I'm still going for the heavy weights. I'm still trying to get PRs. I'm still doing all of that. I'm still trying to put more weight on that bar every time, even if I'm tired. That's what I'm doing. I am not doing cardio. Forget the I'm not going to do it. Why change that? That's not the problem. All I've done is reduced my calories, okay? I'm not even changing the ratio. I'm not even cutting carbs out. I try to eat as much protein as I can, but you can only eat so much meat. You can only eat so much chicken, right? If you've got a calorie deficit, you got to get your food in. I try not to go overboard on the carbs, but I'd say my carbs intake is more than my protein and more than my fat. Not a lot, but it is more. A lot of guys on a cut will just say, get the carbs right out of there. In my opinion, I think that's a mistake. I think your body needs it for the insulin that it provides the muscles that keeps the muscle growth happening. And so in a month, I've done a calorie reduction, I'd say, where I'm about 1,000 calories a day deficit, which is, in my opinion, at the high level of where you want to be if you're cutting. I think 500 to 1,000, but I'm trying to get it off quick, and then I'm gonna sort of relax the last part of my cut a little bit, not be so concerned about it. Do all the heavy lifting at the beginning. So I'm doing about 1,000 calorie deficit, and I would say I've lost about 6 pounds. Hard to say, maybe 7 pounds of fat, but maybe gained a pound of muscle. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not lifting heavier weight, but I'm doing a few more reps than I used to now. So I'm getting a few more reps in. So that's telling me I'm not losing muscle. If I can get more reps at the same weight, something's improving. So, still working hard, 6 days a week workouts, no cardio. And that's what's working for me. And so I was about 199 to 200 a month ago. Now I'm about 194 to 195. Sometimes I drop as low as 193, depends on the time of day. And my body fat was probably somewhere around 10 to 11% when I started, and I'm now dipping between 7 and 8% on my scale. It's usually at the high 7s or low 8s at this point. So I want to get down to around 6, somewhere in there. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I want to hit about 190 at the end of this all. That's my goal. So I'm kind of living proof that it's possible, even as I wouldn't classify myself as a crazy bodybuilder, but I'm sort of more into the physique style of lifting, aesthetically pleasing. And that's sort of getting to the high point of what's naturally attainable by a male without having to go to other types of things. I mean, I've still got a lot of room for growth naturally if I wanted to get bigger, but it starts to slow down at a certain point. You can't put a lot of muscle on for a long time. You'll get good gains initially, and then you'll plateau and slowly put your muscle on over time. And I'm kind of at that range where next year if I gain, or even in the next 6 months to a year, if I gain 5 pounds, I'd be happy with that of muscle, right? That's achievable, but it's hard work. All right, hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. Yes, you can gain muscle while you're dieting. It really depends on where you're starting from, where you want to get to, right? Again, if you're a newbie, you're going to for sure put muscle on while you lose fat. It's not a problem at all, because your body isn't used to all the working out, and so it's going to adapt to that. It's going to put muscle on to compensate for what you're throwing at it. If you're a bodybuilder and you're doing all kinds of crazy stuff to cut weight, changing it up, you're not lifting heavy, you're not eating enough carbs because you still need them, you're doing too much cardio, those types of things, then I think you're going to lose some muscle. So keep everything in perspective. Think about what your body is looking at, right? If you I know this is getting on a bit, but just think about it from your body's point of view. If you change everything and tell it that you don't need to lift heavy weights, and you got less food and you're running around, it's only going to do the logical thing. It's going to just cut weight. It's going to take fat. It's going to take muscle. It's going to do whatever it's got to do to get you to that point. You have to think of it from that point. You want to maintain that muscle. You keep lifting heavy. Forget the cardio. Reduce your calories. Don't drop your carbs right out of the picture. Make sure you protein, get some fats in there. Stay healthy. All right, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Take care.